He's on the Cairns Regional Council. His sights set, one day maybe, on higher office. He's also young, a family man, a local, with views on most of the issues facing far north Queensland, the rest of the state and the nation. Brett Olds needs no introduction. This week with Brett Olds on Cairns FM 89.1.
From Arcia 2006 and Crystal and Jolivet and Nelson in 2005, they cite that the school-to-prison pipeline, which describes a trajectory for offenders when more minor offences at an early stage are left unaddressed, behaviours invariably escalate to more serious and severe offences. So in a nutshell, they're saying that if you let them get away with small things and decriminalise it, then they get used to doing the wrong thing. It sets a pattern. And then they say this results in an enormous cost to society in policing, which you were just pointing out, that's happening now, in policing, justice and corrections, and reduces the public's sense of safety and well-being. This approach also reduces the life chances of young perpetrators. The authors assert that without early-stage intervention, the opportunity to reduce levels of serious crime are low, and police resources will increasingly be consumed dealing with the acute end of the crime spectrum. So, I mean, that wasn't our writing. That was obviously pulled from a study that was done from people a lot smarter than us. But what they're suggesting, and this is what our council is concerned with, and I think what a lot of residents, if we talk to them, is if you let them get away with the small things, once that gate opens and the horse bolts, you can't get it back. So when we said the exact same thing that I think you said and Councillor Pyne said on the floor, I'm not sure if you read the whole thing, because I said to you on the floor, I said, we're saying, we gave solutions as well, which are exactly what you said, more feet on the ground and more funding. And our taxpayers are already paying for this. They're paying the taxes. They're not coming back to Cairns, our region. The social services, the groups, the NGOs, the non-government organisations, all that, there's plenty of them there. Like I said, there's over 36, I think, there are in Cairns. Let's get them the right fund. Let's get them the right help. Let's leave the laws in place, in my opinion, but leave the police to have discretion. So for this gentleman who was just sitting there quietly, obviously he's still not doing the right thing, they could have handled that in probably 100 different ways. They could have just said, hey, do you want to move around the corner? You're out of sight, out of mind. But one thing that we don't want to relax is the public intoxication. Do you know homeless people or rough sleepers, whatever else, sober ones, sober homeless people, I don't know if this is a correct stat, but I'll pull out the Homer Simpson stat, 0%, 0 people that are sober really cause issues in the community. As soon as alcohol or drugs get involved, and even the people who have the mental health issues, if they're sober, they don't really cause an issue. That public intoxication is a big deal, which is why the safer night precincts, instead of defunding them, which the state government has been doing, and we talked about earlier, even the person chairing the inquiry was surprised to hear that, which is a good thing. Hopefully they'll put pressure on. The safer night precincts that operate in 12 to 15 regions, I thought it was 12, but I'm not sure, and councils are already spending millions of dollars a year. The state needs to step up and help out here. But I guess that's where I'm coming from, is like, just like I just read out, you let them get away with the small things, you set a pattern. You set a pattern of behaviour, and all of a sudden they go on and cause more crimes, and it's too late. And then it costs you more on the back end too, because that $30,000 got wasted on that one beggar. They waste more money because now this person is doing way worse things. So I guess that's our concern.
Yeah. Look, and it's a tough one. You know, all of this stuff, it really is, tough at the end of the day, because you're caught between, look, what's wrong and right. And I met with, because I do a lot of youth crime stuff, I met with Dale Last, member for Burdekin, a couple of weeks ago. He actually come to Cairns to attend a community-led youth crime forum. Yep. He's the shadow minister for police corrective services, mate. And I thought he was great. He spoke about exactly the same stuff that you just spoke about,
yep.
About, doing the right thing and supporting these kids at an early age.
The early intervention,
but also going hard when, they commit a crime, because, we've got, they had down there, I think a couple of youths ram-raided the police station in Townsville, just no care. They're not worried. It's a badge of honour if they get caught. Consequences at all, it doesn't even get thought about. So, and I think overwhelmingly the inquiry, I watched the Brisbane inquiry online, and I was also there to attend yesterday in Cairns. The fact that they held one in Cairns, they know that this is a community where this stuff is going on, where it is going to impact. Yep. I mean, we hear a lot about, the government down there in Brisbane making decisions about regional Queensland and not thinking about us. The good thing is this time they've actually, up today, they're having a committee meeting up in Mareeba as well. So they've actually gone, hey, we want to go to these communities because we know that it is a problem.
From them,
yeah, and overwhelmingly yesterday, all of the, some of them you mentioned, like Yeti, Senecare, all of the community organisations that are already currently working in that space, drug and alcohol, mental health, homelessness, they're just saying, look, we need more funding. We don't have any programs that operate at night. Yeah. And I think at night is the biggest problem.
That's when the big issues happen. Yeah,
well, you feel unsafer at night. I mean, I walk through the CBD now, and of a day there's more people walking around, so you just feel safe, and you don't really notice those people that are sitting there or... but
unless they're swearing at you.
And I've had that as well. I probably can't say it on radio, but I've been with my partner, and she's blonde and pretty, and these guys are drunk and yell out,
obscenities.
Yeah, when we've just gone out for dinner or something. And I think I probably have a bit more of an understanding, about the cultures and all that sort of stuff here in Cairns. But if you're a tourist, you're not coming back if you hear that stuff. Your partner's going to say, look, such a beautiful place. But unfortunately, some of the locals are letting it down. But, fortunately, there's a lot of great locals. It's great that you mentioned it, programs, initiatives. There's a lot of people like me even that are just going out there trying to make a difference because we love Cairns. And I think overwhelmingly yesterday, I think they really got the message that it's collaboration at all levels. The state government's got to support us. We've got to support them.
Yeah, it's not an issue. There's no silver bullet, unfortunately, on these things. We're also going to say like there's street chaplains that go out and all that kind of stuff as well. Now, yesterday with the hearing you went to, I didn't go. Like you said, the Mayor Manning and Councillor Moller went and represented council. But you said there was a Chamber of Commerce and a few other groups there. What was their take? So I asked you off air before I started, so I just wanted to give you the opportunity. Because I thought they would actually all be like same as us. No, don't decriminalise it. But I think it was a bit of a different story yesterday. Can you give us your feedback?
Yeah, look, you had the Chamber of Commerce, Nick. I'm not sure if it's. You might be listening. It's either Nick or Mick Harawi or something like that.
Yeah, no.
He's on the Chamber of Commerce committee, so he was there to represent Chamber of Commerce. I think the committee was more interested in his personal background. He owns a security company, so they wanted to know, is crime going up? What's the concerns of the community? As in, are more people purchasing security systems and all that sort of thing? So they really loved or valued what he had to say from his own personal experience. But it was only really the Cairns Chamber of Commerce and the Cairns Council, so Bob Manning, the Mayor, and Brett Moller, Division 1 councillor, were there to represent council.
Yep.
They were the only organisations that were there yesterday in Cairns that were not supportive of a decriminalisation. I've got to say the Queensland Police Service were there as well. I don't know what their position was because we were all asked to leave. That was a closed hearing. No transparency there.
Yeah. But I found that interesting that you said that everyone else was kind of supportive of the decriminalisation because I just went, wow, I think it's going to happen because every other state's done it and the state government pretty much do what they want. I like the fact, like you said earlier, that at least they're coming to Cairns and they're going to Mareeba today and they are asking the questions and finding out more information because even though I believe it's a fait accompli, hopefully they can have some tweaks before it comes out. But my fear is, and I've only been 6.5 years as a councillor, so I've only been working with the state for about that long too. Yeah, but I've been paying attention for longer than that. But for 6.5 years, been working closely with them. I just see that a lot of time, I don't have faith that they're going to come through and deliver any real substantial help in this space, and it's going to fall onto local governments, which is the ratepayer, and it's going to fall onto these NGOs and social service groups. More pressure, and if that's the fear. And then if everything else goes up, why don't they just leave the law as it is and then try and work out from the back end as well? But if they do bring it in, hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully they do come in and with more feet on the ground. We've been promised more police officers for the last 3 elections in a row, and we've had a couple more turn up, but nowhere near the same. Our council, I think we've been told we have the best CCTV coverage, security coverage, out of any city in Australia, I've heard. Now, Well, damn, that's amazing. Maybe it's because our CBD is so small compared to other places. We've got over 500 CCTV cameras with over 250 of them or 240 of them or something in the CBD alone. And we went up into the room where they've moved from this tiny little room, 3 by 3 metre room, to a 7 by 6 metre room, I think it is now. And we went in there the other day, asked councillors to have a look through it, and I can tell you, mate, they can zoom in here, there, and everywhere. They see some problems, and I don't get to see everything, of course, but we get told some reports. Some of the things going on in our streets, it's not healthy, it's not good, and council that play in this role probably more so than, and we directly work with police on that as well. Our officers work directly more so than probably most other groups, and we work not just giving grants with all these other social groups and everything else like Rosie's and Yeti and all these other places. I just hope the state government listens to the local governments, because we're closer to the action. We've got our feet on the ground. We have the evidence on videos of what's happening. We need help cleaning it up. I think that's the common ground you and I have found today too, is we both agree there's an issue, and we both agree it's not good and we need to fix it. And there's always 100 ways or more to skin a cat, to get around it. So maybe this decriminalisation thing could work. Personally, I don't think it's a good move, because I'm yet to find one area, and I will keep looking. But maybe, if you could let me know, like if you find something out in the next week or two, just give me a call, because I am interested to see where watering down laws has actually had a positive impact on the community. Because at the end of the day, we're here, when we're elected in to represent the community, I honestly feel like the majority are like, hell no, which is why I was so surprised that we were the only group yesterday at the hearing that was saying, don't do it. And everyone else is saying, yeah, it's probably a good idea, because it doesn't compute in my head.
Yeah. Look, and it's I think it's overwhelmingly like everyone there really was from that space where they work with this cohort. Yeti, Senecare, those organisations, legal services were there, Indigenous legal services. We had the Tablelands Crime Justice Group. So, they work in that space. But
even the Crime Justice Group, were in favour of decriminalising.
Yeah,
wow.
They run programs for I think kids up in the Atherton region.
Yeah.
But overwhelmingly, they really made that point that if it is decriminalised, we need additional funding. You can't just cut this.
Unless you bring something else in.
And then throw it into the wind. And I think that's every single person is agreeing on that.
Well, that's important. That's good. That's good feedback.
Yeah.
But I am running out of time, Shane. I really appreciate you coming in today. I didn't know how it would go. I was like, oh, no, is it going to be, sometimes you butt heads, you have different opinion. But I think this is a good example of how people can have a different opinion, but you can find common ground. And at the end of the day, I think everyone would agree with you and me that it is an issue that needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
But there's 3 or 4 different ways it could go. So we'll see what the state do. And whatever they do, they've got the power to do it. We'll have to work with it anyway. But I really appreciate you coming in and giving us your point of view.
No worries, Brett. Thanks again.
Have a good week, and go Australia in the cricket.
You're listening to This Week with Brett Olds on Cairns FM 89.1.